Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. And by Anderson Hospital, a Newsweek World's Best Hospital. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
It is the Gashouse Gang until 1 o'clock on KMOX. We're glad to have you with us today. We will talk to Tony La Russa. You've heard of him. He's going to be with us at 12:30 on the show, but I've got with me Chris Ranji. I've got Tamar Scher and Alexa Dat hanging out for the next hour. How are you two doing?
We're great, yeah.
Well, you're in this all-star break. There's no baseball. Well, there's, exhibition baseball, but we have to wait a little bit for Cardinals baseball. Let's get right into the all-star game. I know you both watched it. How did you feel about the way it ended with the whole swing-off thing? I thought it was great. I was into it. How'd you guys feel?
I'm obsessed with it. I wish we were doing that in the regular season. I'm thinking, they did the right thing. The uniforms, I like to see the birds on the bat in the All-Star game, and I just thought that they had a lot of wins in last night's All-Star game.
I thought so, too. I loved it. I don't know about bringing it to regular season baseball yet. I'm not there just yet. Just because the product changes so dramatically.
It does.
When you end in basically penalty kicks. But for me, I thought for ending the All-Star game that way, it was phenomenal.
I think my idea, apparently I had this idea, don't remember it. My idea was to have penalty kicks in baseball anyway.
Oh, got it.
That we should, you know what? Let's just do the last inning different. Let's just have penalty kicks instead. But I'm not opposed to that idea of doing it regular season. I'm right in between both of you on this. If they decided tomorrow, hey, we're going to finish the season and all the games are going to end with this swing-off thing, I'd be like, all right, any extra inning game, fine, whatever. But I get not wanting to do it because it does sort of change everything about the sport.
I like getting the runner over. I like having that guy slide home. To me, that's really exciting because the way that it was kind of anticlimactic, Kyle Schwarber hitting bombs, obviously that's really exciting. Cool. But on the other side, Aaron Boone going with a guy that people hadn't even heard of. Mm-hmm. Like if I ask you what team that guy played for, I don't know if a lot of people could tell you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're really messing with the game at that point. The ability to play kind of that ball where you're driving that guy, you're moving that guy over, and the steal home, that being in play, to me, I think you can't mess with that.
And I think the sustainability of it, how sustainable is that to have a home run derby every other game, every week, whatever it might be, depending on the score in the ninth? I just don't think that's necessarily sustainable. Is
Probably
it
not.
Fun?
What if you're not a home run team?
Right.
That's going to be super anticlimactic. Guys just popping up to second base.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think I'm with you on that. But it was cool. Look, it's an exhibition game.
Yeah.
I'm over, and I'm glad they don't do the thing about whichever team wins gets to host the World Series. That was
wild.
It was silly. It was an attempt to try to get people to be interested in it because people had lost interest in the game. I feel like last night ending it the way they did, that's the kind of thing that makes people, when the players are into it, and you had everybody on the field watching that go down and they were getting into it and hyped. That was awesome. That's exactly what you're looking for.
It was the same thing with the home run derby. Once they changed the format for the home run derby and got people involved again, you cared. You wanted to watch the home run derby, and it's the same thing now for the All-Star game, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that the way in which the broadcast went about it and just the entire product was really special and cool, too, because you're incorporating a lot of things there that draws fans in, that makes fans feel part of it. You have a guy representing from every team. You can see your team on the field, and you have that uniform on there. I thought that was a mistake, them getting rid, personally, of the jerseys. I want to see those uniforms represented across baseball. And I just think that the product, if you're seeing an all-star performing in the way Brendan Donovan, for example, representing the Cardinals, and the way he was playing, he's going 2 for 3 at the All-Star game. He's getting 2 knocks there. That's something he hangs on for the rest of his life with his family. He can represent the birds on the bat, and that's something that I think is really neat just to have that model. It's important to the guys, but drawing in fans is the biggest thing.
He looked fly, too, on the red carpet. Let me tell you. He looked so good. Skechers sent him some sneaks. He rocked his Rolex that he bought himself after his 22 season. He had Allie there with the fire red dress. Vivian, his daughter, they looked so good. So I was just proud of him. And the fact that they were talking about in the articles, him being a sponge, soaking up all of the knowledge from all the different players, he's going to bring that back to the Cardinals, and that's going to benefit the team.
Totally
so
agree.
overall, it's a big win.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, and I sort of fall into this too. I'm not as into the All-Star game as I was when I was like 9. I mean, I was really into it then. Baseball's different now. It's more accessible. The players are more accessible. The games are. You can watch any game you want to. You buy the package. You could, you can see the Yankees and Angels play whenever you feel like it, right? So it's a little different in that way. But I think sometimes players who have been there before kind of feel like, I'd like to have these 4 days off because the season is a grind. But they get there, and they're part of the pageantry, and it's like, I'm glad I came.
Totally.
I'm glad I was here.
How about them using the ABS system, too?
Loved
I was
it.
all for it. That was so cool.
So they're going to do it now, as you guys know, regular season next year. I am on board with them doing it for every single pitch. I think they could just let the technology call the balls and strikes.
Yeah.
But I'll take this.
Yeah.
I'll take being able to challenge and get the calls right.
And it worked, too, because they let you know who was challenging, right? Whether it was a catcher challenge, umpire challenge, pitcher challenge. Giving us that sort of information is the kind of behind the curtains that we haven't been able to have as fans, Like in football, when the, referees throw on the mics and they let everyone know exactly what's going on. Hey, thanks. Because that's what we've been looking for. When we look around in the stands, we go, what just happened? What's going on?
Yeah.
That's the kind of inside information that I think baseball fans want.
Same thing with like miking up Clayton Kershaw and getting to see a behind the scenes look there. I know that's controversial because it's in regular season games, kind of a distraction, but I think that's an interesting way when you're in an age of social media where you have everything at your fingertips and you can see all the numbers and stats, but now you can actually see the numbers and the math there and be able to dive into it yourselves, and you're making everyone smarter, I feel like, around you.
The mic'd up players is a great example of something I thought I would only like in an exhibition or a spring training setting. And then I ended up kind of liking it when it's regular season. When Mason Wynn on the field, and you guys know that when he was, how long was he on with them on ESPN?
It was a 40-minute inning,
was
and they're
all
down
wrong.
like
The whole
8
time,
runs.
right?
That was.
But the amount of Cubs fans I saw who were, on social media saying things like, you know what, I love this guy now. I love him. I hate that he's on the Cardinals, but I love this guy. Because he was just such a good interview and he was a good personality.
You're welcome, Cubs fans. Come hang out.
If you're
Let's go.
any St. Louis Cubs fans, come on over, man.
It's respect, though. You got a guy. He's a young guy who wants to be a face of the franchise, who wants to be a vocal leader there and also lead with his play. And you're seeing him take it because he's out there. They're down. How do you? It's like a post-game interview. How do these guys take it at the end of the game? What do you want to hear from them, see from them? But then you're getting real-time reaction where he has to stay composed, or he doesn't have to. He just does, and that's what his brand is now forever. So I think it's controversial, though, because it can be that distraction. But for fans, giving us more of that can be just make the game a little more exciting.
It makes the players more they're already more accessible than they used to be, like we said, but that's even better that you can get some insight while they're playing. And I feel like you guys would know this. If you are, of all the sports, this is the one you could probably do it with. Of all the big team sports, you couldn't do it with hockey. You couldn't do this in football where they're mic'd up doing interviews during the play. But in baseball, you can get away with it.
Fans want to be so involved in baseball. We sell out stadiums for the Savannah Bananas because if we catch a fly ball, it's an out. That's how much we want to be involved in the game. We love this game so much. Make us a part of it.
Right.
Bring us inside. Bring us behind the curtain. Show us, who these guys really are. And Mic'd Up allows you to do that.
I'm not trying to brag or anything, but
What's that?
I did get Bananas tickets.
So did I.
There
You
we
did?
go.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
do the lottery or do you know somebody? Oh, come on, man.
You know the answer to that.
I
You know this town.
did
You
it.
got to know somebody.
Look, man, I did it I'm a man of people.
What was that like, Chris?
Dude, it was great.
It was good?
It was great. I won the lottery, and I got
There
the
we go.
tickets. I bought tickets and 15 minutes later got the email that said sold out completely.
Wow.
Right?
Just got in the door.
You're
This
so
guy
lucky.
just got in.
Nice.
Got Alexa Dat and Tamar Scher with me. Let's talk about the Cardinals specifically in the season so far, how things are going. The second half, or the, I guess, post All-Star break, they get going on Friday again. So we'll talk about where the Redbirds are, what you guys think of them. Alexa Dat, Tamar Scher, Chris Ranji. It is the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Ground ball left side. Bobby Witt Jr. gets there. A jump throw is wide and an infield hit for Donovan. First and third, nobody out. Base hit for Brendan Donovan, who is 2 for 2 in the 3 spot in this National League lineup.
Brendan Donovan, the Cardinals' lone representative in the All-Star game, which happened in Atlanta last night, gets a couple of hits. And then got the final out, which led us to the whole swing-off thing, which was a whole lot of fun. We just talked about that. Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang. I've got Alexa Dat and Tamar Scher. With me today, again, Tony La Russa will join us at 12:30. And we've got a lot to talk about with him as well. So this Cardinals team is a game and a half out of a wild card spot. I don't know how you both felt about what they were going to be during spring training. My feeling was it's the Central. You never know. I thought the Cubs were the best team, but, it's the Central, right? So anything can happen in this division. But I don't know that I thought they would be a game and a half out of a playoff spot this deep into the season. So this seems like, for me, that they have overperformed. When you look at the Cardinals in 2025, how do you see them?
I think they're exceeding expectations, but I do say that when I went to spring training and I came away from it, I thought the low expectations of this team was going to help boost them, and that's exactly what we're seeing. 51 wins in the first half. You look back to 2022 season, and they end the first half 50-44. So there's some similarities here in terms of records. I know there's a concern, at least that I have, with what the last week looked like leading into the All-Star break. We don't like to see that. We don't like to see what was happening with the starting pitching there. But what I will say is they are exceeding my expectations for just how they have battled, and they've been gritty, and guys are stepping up performing. Jose Fermin getting his first home run and having some history there for himself. Joel Pozo doing things. So there's different plug-and-play guys that can come in and do exciting things. And that's what's, in my opinion, making this team so exciting to watch right now, and why I do see that they have some length and runway to play with.
For this to be a transition year, I think they have blown the expectations out of the water. They were talking about Nolan Arenado not being a part of this team in spring training. They brought in, the only free agent signing in the offseason was Phil Maton. That was it. So when you look at this team compared to last year, there aren't a lot of changes, yet it seems like there's a big difference. And to me, one of the biggest differences is the coaching staff. You have John Jay, you have Stubby Clapp, you've got Daniel Descalso, Dusty Blake, and Ali Marmol all working together, not only to improve the outfield and infield defense, but the hitting coach, Brant Brown, coming through and really building what these young players started to do last year, but putting it all together in terms of, stringing hits together in any given game, I think is excellent. And to me, that's the biggest improvement for this team, is the fact that the communication from these new coaches and these younger players is starting to really click.
It's sort of it's one of the things that we've heard a lot about them last several weeks, or I guess all season long, and it's the sports cliche stuff that they're pulling on the same rope and everybody's in it together, and they have a desire to win. And sometimes I think it's just things that we say about teams. But the more I hear about them, the more I get the impression it might be a little truer for them than it is for other teams. It may not be enough to carry them to a playoff, but it seems like there's a little bit more of that. And you both have covered teams before. Do you get that impression?
Yeah, and I can give you several examples. I won't take up the whole show talking about
it doesn't
all the
matter.
different examples we have. But okay, one specific one. Anytime there's a new pitcher that comes in, Brant Brown has made it his point to have all the hitters gather around who are about to face this new pitcher and show his arsenal. Here's exactly what you're going to face. Here's how you attack this guy. And yeah, in the past, obviously, everyone has all of the information at their fingertips on these iPads. But for Brant Brown to take guys individually and say, this is what is going to happen, this is what you need to do to adjust based on what your skill set is, and reinforcing that throughout the game, that's done throughout and across the board with all of these, coaches. In terms of guys going out there into the field, it's where's your positioning? What are you looking for in this half inning? And reinforcing that over and over and over again on the base paths. Exactly where are you setting up? What are you looking for here? And reinforcing that throughout the game. That's not done on every major league team. I know it should be, but that's not something, especially with a young group, that people necessarily think about. They think, well, these guys got to such a high level. They've been playing baseball their whole lives. They know how to do it. Send them out there and let them go play. But the reinforcement of the coaching, to me, is, I think, some of the biggest parts of this. So you also have another example, Brendan Donovan. After the game, he goes and watches tape. Instead of going alone, he grabs Thomas Ajacey. He says, come into the room with me. Let's sit down. Let's watch your at-bats. Let's watch your positioning in the field. Let's watch your angles. And let's grow and learn from that, because that's what the coaches have decided to instill in Donovan, and now he's carrying that down to the other players.
Yeah, I was actually able to talk to Tony La Russa just a couple of days ago before the Braves series even began, and he's saying they're not allowing the distraction of what could have happened with Nolan Arenado take away from what's happening now, and they have that coaching staff together. They have different pieces that they've added to not allow themselves to dive into the distraction and really lean into the pieces they do have and see how can you get the most, squeeze out the most potential from who you have, knowing that they're trying to draft, develop, grow their player development. That's their model. So if you're seeing that and putting in the right coaches to say, hey, we have the product here, here's how we can squeeze the most juice out of the orange, I think that's the key to success right there.
John Jay took Alec Burleson from a minus defender to a plus defender in right field. Stubby Clapp made Wilson Contreras a +7 outs above average at first base this season. I mean, that you give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. They're turning these young guys around.
That's important to me because, doing this show and we get comments from Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and tweets, text messages, whatever. And you know how it is when it comes to baseball. Teams not playing all that great. Managers, the reason for it. It's coaching, clearly. It's not the talent, it's the coaches. And I don't know, man. I would look at this team, if anything, I think they have done a better job at getting them where they are now, where the team is now, is still in striking distance of a playoff, than looking at it the other way. Whereas like this team sucks because of the coaching staff. It sucks because of Ollie Marmol. I think it's the other way. I think they've done an exceptional job of keeping them where they are.
We haven't even talked about how Dusty Blake and Ollie Marmol have managed the starting staff in terms of that 6-man going through
keeping
the rotation,
them healthy.
keeping them healthy.
And guys who are hitting a threshold.
Yeah.
An innings threshold. Matthew Liberatore has, I don't know how he's going to get through the entire season. He is not pitched this much.
Yep.
And Sonny Gray was going through something during spring training, which I'm not, I mean, you guys might know a little bit more about it than I do. It seems like something he wasn't feeling quite right. It feels like they have managed, I don't know what it is, but it feels like they have managed something there to keep him healthy. To me, this is a really good job they've done at just keeping the team where it is.
Yeah, Sonny Gray gave up 9 home runs in his first 9 starts. He's given up 1 in his 9 since. And watching these guys settle in, that 6-man really helps out. It gives a guy an extra day. Miles Michaelis was talking about it. It gives you a chance to breathe. It gives you a chance to let your body rest and decide what you want to do with that extra day. If you need the rest, take it. If you need to stretch, do that. If you want to go jack some weights in the weight room, fine. That's your prerogative. But giving you that extra time to be able to breathe, I mean, look at the quality starts from your starting staff. One of the best in baseball. And it also takes the pressure off of the bullpen, which has been so strong this year, too. It allows Phil Maton to go out there and just do his job and nothing else.
But as Tamar said, that was true early in the season. The quality starts have kind of gone away lately. Last couple of weeks have been rough.
Yeah, and that's the whole question. And I think we're talking about how do they look at the back half of the first half, and it's a couple not quality starts that we're seeing from the starting pitching staff. We're also seeing that this team isn't fully healthy. So we're talking about the amount of shutouts that we're seeing and the fact that the offense has been struggling. And then if you have starting pitching that isn't doing its job, and then you have offense that's can't quite get that consistent rhythm going, that's when you're seeing, okay, I'm looking at some of these injuries and saying, okay, Ivan Herrera is back. That's an exciting thing. We aren't seeing Jordan Walker right now. We are seeing Nolan Arenado with a sprained finger. We're seeing Lars Nootbaar hurt. So how then, okay, we're talking about the health of how they've been able to maintain the starting pitching. Now, how does that play throughout the entire lineup and making sure that now you come into the second half and get stronger in that realm? Is it a health pickup or is it a break that was needed? What is it to be able to keep this team as complete as possible?
Tamar Scher covers sports for KMOV, covers the Cardinals. We've got Alexa Dat with us, FanDuel Sports Network Midwest. We are going to be with you until 1 o'clock. When we come back, though, we're going to talk to the Hall of Famer, Tony La Russa. He will join the show. The Gashouse Gang is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and by Anderson Hospital. It's 104.1 FM KMOX.
Ouch! Checked from behind. Man, that's gotta hurt.
I'd hire Morgan & Morgan if I were them.
What?
Yeah, Dan, America's largest injury law firm. They serve up justice, ice, cold, law. Know what I mean?
I guess.
Their gloves come off when they fight for you.
Okay.
I'm talking a settlement slap shot.
Shouldn't we be talking about the game?
Yeah, Dan. Morgan & Morgan.
Proud partner of the St. Louis Blues. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
KMOX and 97.1 FM Talk are proud to support the first ever Brendan Donovan Charity Clay Shoot, happening Thursday, August 7th at Straffleman Farms Club in Weldon Spring. Join Cardinal standout Brendan Donovan, teammates, and local celebrities for a day of clay shooting and community, all to benefit Team Red, White, and Blue and their mission to support veterans' health and wellness. Sponsorships and shooter spots are going fast. Visit teamrwb.org/Donovan now to sign up. Show your support and make a difference for those who have served.
92 degrees and mostly cloudy in St. Louis. It feels like 103.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
We are Metro Transit. We don't just help ourselves and our neighbors get where we need to be. We help our whole region get where we want to be. Get on board at rideonmetro.org.
Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Hi, I'm Gloria Liu, broker-owner at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And for over 20 years, I've been getting my home sellers the most money for their home and selling faster than the average agent. So when you're ready to sell your home or have questions, call me.
And I'm Debbie Monterey. For years, I've been telling you about Gloria Liu and why you should call her. Gloria has solutions and programs for every seller because she understands that every situation is different. Call Gloria and get your free instant home valuation, choose from multiple cash offers, or sell with certainty this summer because Gloria will guarantee upfront and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay the difference. Hey, the St. Louis market is shifting. Now is a great time to call and get to know Gloria Liu like I have. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Named one of Newsweek's world's best hospitals for 2025, Anderson Hospital is your hospital for life, delivering exceptional, compassionate care to families across the Metro East. From emergency services to specialized treatments, our dedicated team supports your health at every stage. Experience world-class care close to home. Discover the difference at andersonhospital.org.
Chris Ranji for Siteman Cancer Center, and you have to know that you are somebody's favorite person, and your health matters not just to you, but it matters to people who care about you. Getting screened early for any cancer, whether it's colon or breast cancer, prostate cancer, or lung cancer, it is important to do that. Siteman has set up a website called GetScreenedNow.com, and when you go to it, it's going to help you find a location nearer you. If you live a little farther out from St. Louis and don't want to make the trip into the city, you can get screened closer to home. GetScreenedNow.com, because for me, I'm over 45. It's time for that colonoscopy. Third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in both men and women. And GetScreenedNow.com will help you find a location that is good for you. Doing it early, really, really important. GetScreenedNow.com.
Renewal by Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Just dial pound 250 on your phone and say the keyword Windows. That's pound 250 keyword Windows, or head to rbastl.com.
Baseball's All-Star Week is underway. Cardinals baseball, it returns Friday night when they take on the D-backs.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Swinging a high drive into left. Back goes the Craig. He's at the track. He has it, and the Cardinals are world champion for 2011. They came from nowhere to astound the baseball world. They win this one 6-2, and they're world champions for 2011.
Trying to hook up with Tony La Russa, the Hall of Famer. He is in part of a celebration of Cardinals championships tonight at Stiefel Theater, which gets started at 6:45. I believe there are tickets available for it. Well, we're just going to throw it out there. Check for yourself. StiefelTheater.com if you are interested tonight, and that would be a lot of fun. Joe Buck, Rick Ankiel, David Eckstein, Jim Edmonds, David Freese, Matt Hungarian, all these people are going to be there tonight, so that'll be a really fun time. I've got Alexa Datt from FanDuel Sports Network Midwest, Tamar Scher from KMOV, Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang. So we Hope to hook up with Tony here in just a little bit. So getting ready for the second half of the season. I don't know what to expect here. I keep going back to them being only a game and a half out of first place, so anything can happen. I have the same concerns I think everybody else does, but if you just took a guess, if you take your best educated guess, how do you think the next few months plays out? You think the Cardinals will make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're in. Because here's the thing. What I've seen from them over the first half of the season, especially with Gorman getting more at-bats and being successful, Alec Burleson becoming an everyday player, watching these guys that they were talking about in terms of runway guys in this transition season have taken the runway and run with it and have come out successful when they've been given the opportunity. I think they're going to get more opportunity in the second half, and then you're going to see this offense that we saw, at least to start the season, have a lot of success, start to build upon itself with these everyday guys starting to step up.
You talk about Alec Burleson. He hit .293 with 11 homers and an OPS above 800 in the first half. And this is a guy Ollie Marmol said over and over again. This is a guy who earned it. Victor Scott earned his spot in center field at spring training to say, okay, he is the defender that we want out there in the field playing every day. And I think that if you continue to give these guys runway, if you continue to see how they can perform, I know what's going to be interesting now that Herrera is back and healthy, but just playing at that DH role, then how does that create some runway space for Nolan Gorman? There might be some play there. But again, we went back to the coaching staff in the first half of this show, and they were able to manage through these things, not knowing, okay, how are we going to plug and play, giving guys the runway they so deserve. Alec Burleson, that's a perfect example. He built that for himself. And he said, okay, I utilized the runway in the right way. Let's see how we do it. And I think that's something that we could see in the second half continue to progress. And if we do see that, I don't know necessarily if this is a for sure lock-in playoff team, but I think they are trending in the right direction to be able to do that, all things considered.
Well, we were talking about the job that Ollie Marmol has done and trying to manage all of this, because you go into a season, the expectation is it's that transition year. You know, we're trying to figure out who these young players are. We're giving them plenty of leeway so that we can make evaluations, decide what we want to do for the following season, and then it gets off to a good start. So now you're trying to balance both. Well, you know, we got to let these guys play, but also let's try to make the playoffs too, since we're here, right? I don't know. I think it's a difficult job. And I thought he's done so far pretty well at that, at managing and trying to get playing time for the younger players, because we know this isn't all about him. All these decisions are not his. It's not his decision who's on the roster. He has input, but he doesn't make the final call on these things.
Yeah, for sure. And it is a collaborative effort. And I think also watching a lot of the things that were question marks coming into the season ended up being big exclamation points. You didn't know how Wilson Contreras was going to play at first base. Yeah. And not only is he playing an excellent first base, he's performing at the plate too. And he's becoming a leader on the field. You see that fiery intensity still staying there with him. It's
kind of always been that way. And he never lost it.
He never lost it.
Yeah.
And, the fact that his offense didn't dip while trying to figure out first base is huge too. He's having a huge first half. And you see that, carry over into the second half. That would be big. Nolan Gorman getting playing time to me and figuring out exactly where he fits in this lineup is one of the biggest questions. Since June 1st in his 34 games, that .254 average, 500 slug, 8 home runs, he swings a hot bat and he's got a lot of power. So you got to figure out some at-bats for Nolan Gorman to make sure that he stays in there. But several different things that you came into the season wondering how it was going to play out, played out really well.
Wondering how Ivan Herrera, Pedro Pajes are going to share catching duties, what they can do there. I know right now it's just Pedro Pajes with Ivan Herrera's injury, but I think that that's something that you want to see how they went through that. And I think that catching process definitely showed, like to your point, Alexa, with what Wilson was able to do at first base being that big question mark. You asked him, hey, man, if you thought that you were going to be in this position X amount of years ago, would you say yes? And he was like, no way.
I said in 2009, when you started with the Cubs, if I told you in 2025 that you'd be the first baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, what would you have told me? Impossible. That's what he said. I said, well, not so impossible, first baseman in the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, he did say he wanted to play here.
Yeah.
He just didn't think he was going to play first base. It is time to go to the guest line. We've got Tamar Scher and Alexa Dat, Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang, and we bring in the Hall of Famer Tony La Russa, former Cardinals manager, who joins us now. How's it going, Tony?
Well, actually excited about tonight. A lot of guys have come together to share their experiences winning some championships, and they feel an obligation to include the fans. So we're going to do something tonight, and I hope we get a bunch of fans there to enjoy it.
So Stiefel Theater at 6:45. It is a celebration of Cardinals championships. And as you mentioned, and we talked about it too, David Eckstein, Jim Edmonds, Joe Buck's going to be there, David Freese. That's a pretty good lineup, Tony.
No, it kind of began, kind of simple, just a handful. And as the word got out, guy said, hey, I want to help because, the truth of it, it's a beautiful truth. When you put that birds on the bat, you're told by whether it's Jack Buck or Mike Shannon or Bob Gibson, Red Shannon, you're told, hey, there's something special that goes on here. And they always have talked about feeling the fans' support and the kind of the adrenaline that you feel to not let them down. I mean, that's real. I'm not giving a story to do anything else, to be honest. So the idea was to show our appreciation and share what they're going to. Anybody that shows up, they're going to see some videos. They're going to see some guys get some behind the scenes, up close and personal experiences.
Tony, Alexa Dat, good to talk with you again. Looking forward to the event tonight. Where did the idea for this event first come about?
Interestingly, when we were here for opening day, a bunch of us showed up the day before, and as it would have after dinner, we sit around, excuse the expression, the bar, and we talk. And it happened again last night. A bunch of guys are here for this event, and we were there, and everybody's laughing and talking. Remember this, remember that. So the next day was opening day. It's a day game. So we convened again at the same place. And the two most important topics, we were having our fun like we always do, kidding, getting on each other. But there was a serious couple of moments. Number one, the greatness of Darryl Kyle, who passed away in 2002. And we were really concerned that people understand the great teammate and competitor. So he would be remembered forever like some of the greats who had a longer career. And then we also lost this unbelievable general manager, Walt Jocketty. So the idea was, man, we gotta make sure people understand what Darryl did, and you look at the record that was part of Walt's tenure. And then the more we talked about it, let's do something. And in fact, tonight, Ron Krzyzewski from Steeple is going to welcome everybody, and he's going to talk about it when I first mentioned it. And he thought Alan never pull it off, but the guys have been so enthusiastic, and it gets bigger and bigger because more guys show up.
Hey, Tony, it's Tamar Scher. Let's talk about Walt Jocketty for a moment. When you think back to those early 2000 years, he did such an incredible job just building a foundation within the St. Louis Cardinals, bringing you. What drew you to Walt Jocketty? What made him so special?
That's a great question. It's one that needs to be asked and explained because nothing would have happened without this man's leadership. And a part of that was he understood that unless you built a really strong foundation of team and earned respect and trust. I mean, it sounds a little corny, but you couldn't play for Walt's team if you didn't come in there and earn the respect and trust of your teammates and show them you care. Like right now, we have a lot of guys that we're all family, and it was Walt's culture idea, and then the talent they put together was the second part of the story. He was so well respected in the industry that this amazing list of guys that he traded for in July 31st, several Hall of Famers, it's because of his qualities. And the PS to that is way back in 1976, when I was a player coach for the White Sox AAA, that's when I first met Walt, and we were together with the A's, and I've known this man forever. And a PS for tonight, Sue, his son and daughter, Joey and Ashley, our guests, and with Darryl Kyle, his wife, Flynn, with their kids, and Dave, the new husband, they're going to be in the audience. So it's going to be a wonderful night.
Yeah, at this event tonight, it is benefiting multiple charities, including your LaRussa Rescue Champions and the PenFed Foundation. What do you want people to know about these organizations that'll benefit?
Well, one of them is, Tom, Saturday we have a military component, and we're going to have a couple hundred guest veterans and first responders. So Tom Saturday from Delta Force, his experience, he'll be there to make a point. But Cardinal Care has been involved with what they want to do for kids. PenFed and our family, we've always been concerned about companion animals. And a specific one is the connection that you can make with veterans matching dogs. And we've worked together now for almost 3 years, and we're going to do it. And that's part of how, with PenFed's contacts, why we've got so many veterans that would be guests.
Tony, you mentioned that the event is going to be star-studded. Chris said that Joe Buck will be hosting with Rick Ankiel there, David Eckstein, Jim Edmonds, David Freese, Al Roboski, so many incredible names. And I know the fans are going to have a lot of fun tonight. But for you, what would this event be? How would you define this event as a success when it's all said and done?
Well, I'm going to give you the answer in a second. I'm going to make sure that the fans understand the significance as the word got out. We'll have more guys. There's a total of, besides Al Robowski, there's a total of 10 guys that will be on the stage talking experiences first and second half. We'll have more than that in the audience. Guys like Skip Schumacher is in town, and Brian Jordan, Ray Langford, a bunch of guys wanted to be part of this. Scott Spezio's in town. So it's a community kind of thing. And the most important point, sounds a little corny, but the reason we're doing it is to say thank you to the fans. We want to share with them these highlights, because between the video and guys explaining, they're going to remember some really great moments of the last, this great run that we had in the 2000s.
Just to give a little teaser to some of the fans, I know we talk about who's going to be there, but when you look back to, we're talking mid-2000s, it's 06, it's 2011, do you find that there are any comparisons you can make between those two World Series clubhouses?
Well, the ones I mentioned before about the culture, I mean, it was, you spent, once the season, actually when spring training starts, you will spend more time with your baseball family than your personal family. So if that family is not a real unit, all going in the same direction, not only are you not going to enjoy it, but you won't be successful. So one thing that both, you think about 2006 and 2011, we got in the last day of the season, ended up world champions. Both those teams faced a significant amount of adversity, the kind that at some point you just say, it's not our year. And a team never gave in, never gave up, and we ended up with a big ring.
Hall of Famer Tony LaRussa with us tonight. A celebration of Cardinals championships at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com or StiefelTheater.com. It gets started at 6:45. So if you're interested, it's probably a good idea to get in now. Tony, thank you so much for talking with us today. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Well, I appreciate the chance. And, the one good thing, on the days of events, the box office is open. They can go directly to the box office and skip some of the charges that you have to do, like a Ticketmaster, for example. So, if fans want to go there, there'll be tickets available, and you can buy them on the spot.
That's a great public service. Yeah, forget those stupid ticket fees. Just walk up to the window. Do it the old-fashioned way. Tony, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is Tony LaRussa with us on the Gashouse Gang. He's always fun.
Love Tony.
Hey, let's, you guys want to hang out a few more minutes, and then we'll let you go home?
Perfect.
All right.
Or in your case, you can go to work.
Or maybe go to bed.
Oh, you go to bed? You did it this
morning. Yeah, this is my early day.
What? I can't believe you showed up for this.
I had to. I could not miss my first opportunity in studio at KMOX.
All right. Well, Tamar Scher, think about that. She came all the way in here. She worked in the morning, came here. She cares. Alexa Dat, she had nothing to do. She's off right. She's off right now. It's the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Home title theft. It's on the rise and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
It's July. How much time have you spent in your outdoor space? If you had Chesterfield Fence and Deck come out and just trick out your entire yard, well, you could be spending a lot of time out there, maybe even year-round. This is Debbie Monterey, and Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your trusted provider of everything you need in your outdoor space, from fences, decks, patios, pergolas, sunrooms, screen rooms, you name it, they can do it. Whether you're just looking for a simple fence or a gate, or you are looking for a brand new patio with a sunroom and a patio and a built-in fireplace and a pizza oven, I mean, you can dream with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. And they do free in-home estimates and free project design, or stop by their beautiful showroom in the Chesterfield Valley if you're looking to get some new ideas. And mention me, Debbie Monterey. They'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. ChesterfieldFence.com.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So, if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and by Anderson Hospital on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Until 1 o'clock today. Tomorrow, we've got Bernie Miklasz, right? Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. So Bernie Miklasz and me tomorrow. We got anybody else? Who else, Matt? Nothing? Okay. We'll figure it out. Right now, it's Alexa Dat and Tamar Scher joining me, Chris Ranji, until 1 o'clock, and then the Dave Glover Show will take over. So we were talking about the second half of the season and sort of, how things are going to look. And the one thing the Cardinals did really well, I shouldn't say one thing because they did a few things pretty well at the beginning of the year, but we saw the offense drop off a lot. And then you had a couple of weeks stretch where you had 6 shutouts in a very short time. That's not, you don't see that very often in baseball. And I thought it was surprising coming from this team, as you see it, with the return of Herrera, with some of the other injuries they have dealt with and that hopefully getting better. Is this offense, in your opinion, poised to be better than it was in that final couple of weeks?
I think so. I mean, they're a top 10 offense in baseball right now.
So overall,
as we sit, in Major League Baseball. So dealing with those injuries, though, are going to be key because does Nootbaar recover from the rib injury?
Yeah.
How does Nolan Arenado heal from the finger, which he said was traveling up his arm, not only affecting his swing, but also his throw? That affects both sides of the ball for him. Who takes his place at third base? What ends up happening with the bench if those guys can't go? Are you playing Sajacy? Pozo steps up. How do those role players fit going forward? Gorman's back locked up. What does that mean for the second half? You have all of these health issues that you have to manage, as the second half of the season starts. And that's going to be key for this team. But I think because of what we've seen so far this season, where it's been a little bit up and down, when you do have Herrera back in there, it solidifies and lengthens this offense and allows guys like Mason Wynn to kind of take a little bit of a step back, figure out his swing again, and get ready to go for the second half. Things like that, and Victor Scott as well, because Herrera's just been so incredibly consistent.
Yeah, and I think to your point, and that's why I had hesitations when you're asking, is if it's as it sits today, is this a playoff team, is because of the reservations with the injuries and the health of this team right now. But when you're looking at the guys that have stepped in to play a role, when you have Jose Fermin becoming the guy that wins the final game of the first half and he's working toward that, is that a sustainable model if you don't have all your guys back who can perform and continue to have that consistent offense? I don't know, but that's going to be the big question mark for me, is the health.
So, and that's the thing about this team is it, to me, if they end up getting that wild card, and I don't know that I would bet on it, but if they do, it's almost like they're going to have to kind of max out. If you're a team like the Tigers or the Cubs or you're the Padres or Dodgers, you can have injuries and you're going to be all right. And you might even make a deep run in the playoffs, even with injuries, if you still have them. This team can't really afford that. They've got to be healthy.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what we were saying about starting pitching as well, and they've managed that. So that's what we were talking about in terms of depth. It's who's going to be, for example, we're talking about trade deadline. We're talking about, okay, if Ryan Helsley is traded away, who's that closer then? Who fills that gap? What's that depth going to look like? So I think in all, this is a young team, but you're still, okay, you're looking at J.J. Weatherholt, who's performing. He performed at AA. He's performing at AAA.
Yep.
And then what's his runway? Does he get a shot? Sajacy, slow right now. We need to see how his offense progresses in the second half of the season. Not the best it could possibly be right now, but when you have those openings, like for example, if Nolan Arenado wasn't on the 2025 roster, who's stepping in to play there? Is it Gorman? Is Sajacy getting reps there? What does that look like? So there's a lot of questions that we had to start the season that if you're bringing injuries into account, okay, maybe there are some of those holes that need to be filled today, as they said, going into the second half that we were having questions about before the season. And look at what happened. We saw exceeded expectations.
The thing about the Cardinals is they're top 5 in outs above average in outfield and infield defense. They're the only team in baseball that's that successful defensively.
Yeah.
So you have the fundamentals there. Pitching, you could start to see Michael McGreevy slide into that starting rotation in the second half, which could totally change what the starting rotation ends up looking like. The bullpen has been strong. Jojo Romero, Phil Maton has a under 2 ERA the first half. He's been lights out. You love to see the 19 saves from Ryan Helsley. He's always been dominant. So you have a strong bullpen. So if you start to see some of these guys coming back healthy and getting this offense rolling, I believe in this team for sure. Plus, I'm telling you, this coaching staff is the MVP of the first half. They've really got these young guys going.
All right, one-word answer before we say goodbye. Cardinals make a deadline deal, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Oh, I'm not going to break the tie. I'm going to let it hang there. How about that? Tamar, Cher, and Alexa Dat, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me, or I would have been alone.
Thanks for having us.
We love it. Thanks for having us. We'll be back if you let us.
Oh, totally welcome. We'll be back tomorrow. Bernie Miklasz is with me tomorrow, 12 o'clock. We hope that you'll listen to the podcast. If you missed it, it will be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter if you want to watch. Also on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. See ya.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling a bit uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without